One of the Pride Isle Sanatorium's iconic features is the ability to turn into a monster. In the past, people have theorized that the reason we turn into monsters is because of a disease or a supernatural curse. And that could be true, but in today's video, I might have found the answer. Normal players, known as patients, can turn into monsters at night if they give in to the insanity that plagues their minds. They get their kills and continue playing the game as if nothing happened the previous night. There are 4 monsters that players can turn into: cannibals with broken backs, big spiders with realistic eyes on their back, thick worms with razor-sharp teeth and 6 small legs, and a pride melon monster based on the game's iconic fruit. Players can buy a special in-game item called a special mixture, or in the past offer a pride melon to the sanatorium's heart to speed up becoming a monster. While players know that anyone can transform into monsters at night, the true origins of these monsters is unclear. Nurses say they've never seen these monsters, shrugging off patient stories as their wild imagination, even though they get attacked by these creatures at night. This weird contradiction is pretty well known among the Pride Isle players, but most people don't really know what it means. 2 years ago, Valindra posted a short film I animated. It shows a worried mother asking for help with her sick son. 2 sanatorium field nurses visit her, and after they speak, the sick boy runs through the house and turns into a worm. The nurses fight him, trap him in a box, and throw it into the ocean. Yet somehow it ends up at the Pride Isle. Anyways, the reason I'm bringing up this video is because it reveals something important. It tells us that the worm monster didn't come from the sanatorium. It came from the outside world. I thought that would have been my conclusion until I started thinking about the other monsters. In the game, every player can turn into a cannibal. It's the default monster if you don't have the other monster game passes. They originally came from a game called Gamoria Pig Church Asylum, which happens way longer before the Pride Isle Sanatorium's events. Spiders, however, seem to have started in the Pride Isle. As far as I know, there's nothing else that tells us otherwise. This is just a theory, but maybe a normal spider got into a special mixture jar, became infected, and started biting other patients. This could have spread a disease that turns players into giant spiders. It's kind of like a twisted Spider-Man situation, except in this scenario, Peter Parker is literally everybody else. The melon monster is clearly tied to something within the Pride Isle. The only way to become one is by completing the game's prestige path, which gives players a chance to become a nurse if they succeed. Now, you could argue that the monsters obviously come from the special mixture, but here's the thing. They don't. When we arrive in DPI, players start getting visions without drinking the special mixture. The NPC shopkeeper who sells the mixtures even tells us not to mention buying them to the nurses because it gives them quote-unquote nightmares. Now, that doesn't make sense because when nurses collect their holy water jars from the shipment coffin, there's not just holy water inside, there are also special mixtures too. It's likely that the shopkeeper stole a few bottles from the coffin when no one was looking and decided to sell them for a profit. This is why she warns you not to tell the nurses because she'd likely get in trouble. And there are times in game where nurses actually give out special mixtures, like after surgeries. If you schedule a surgery in-game, nurses sometimes hand out special mixtures to patients afterwards. So clearly nurses aren't afraid of these mixtures if they're giving them out as medicine. This makes me believe that while special mixtures may not be the cause of the Pride Isle's monsters, they definitely speed up the process of becoming one. But here's the thing. If holy water is meant to heal and protect patients from turning into monsters, why would nurses also be getting special mixtures? None of it quite adds up. The more I try to make sense of it, the more frustrating it became. This empty conclusion really bothered me, so I went looking around the sanatorium for clues. When I noticed something in the dorm area. There are paintings all around the sanatorium, and at first I thought they were just for decoration. But the ones in the dorm area stood out to me because they seem to reflect the game's darker themes. Most of them are typical for a place like this, dark and grim, but this one really caught my attention. It's a painting of a woman with her head on fire. The picture itself isn't what interested me, it's the title, Embraced Nightmares.
Embraced nightmares can be interpreted as a metaphorical embrace of the difficult or frightening experiences or dreams that we might face, potentially suggesting a willingness to confront and learn from them rather than fearing them.
And that's when it hit me. Patients go to the sanatorium to get help with their problems. Nurses offer treatments, surgeries, and checkups. But what if the special mixture is actually a twisted kind of exposure therapy? Bear with me for a second. Take a look at this part of the game's description.
Our sanctuary welcomes patients from all corners of the world, offering love, acceptance, and a true sense of belonging. But as night falls, the shadows of the past emerge, the pain, the isolation, and the whispers clawing at the mind, distorting reality itself. Will you endure? Will you break? Or will you embrace the transformation?
Maybe the nurses' mixtures aren't just about healing your body. Maybe they're meant to force patients to face their fears and bad memories. So it seems that a patient's troubles and traumas transform them into monsters. While the technicalities of how troubles and traumas transform us into monsters is still a bit confusing, we'll probably get an answer one day. Who knows, this theory could be entirely wrong, or I'm just overcomplicating things. The next few updates in game might provide an answer to this. It could really just be some sort of disease that spread or some supernatural curse that people have theorized about in the past. Congrats if you made it to the end of this mess I call a theory. Let me know what your thoughts are on this theory or if you have theories on your own. Also, I am aware that Phase 2 Part 1 came out for DPI. I did record my gameplay, but for some reason the footage I had corrupted. And I have no idea how. But I will make a video on it when Phase 2 Part 2 comes out. Anyways, thanks for watching.